Hi. Right, I'm going to take you through next how to shape your dough into your pizza base and then put some toppings on it. So this is how I do it, and I'm not, trained in any way. This is just my experience and how I've kind of found out the best way of doing it. And really, you do need to practice a bit because it doesn't come first time. But here's our piece of dough. It's been balled, it's nicely rested, it's come up to room temperature. And now we're just going to start pressing it into shape. This is the top of your ball that you stretched, and this will always be the top of your pizza. So we're just going to go in the middle like that and start pressing down and around. And just keep working it around because you want that crust on the outside, but the inside of it needs to be really nice and thin. When you get to about that size, you can start picking it up and just feeling that crust with your thumb and just working it around, squeezing it to make it nice and flat. And then you can pick it up and you can start to stretch it a little bit over your hands as well. Pizza. Obviously you're going to ball up different sizes and you're going to make it the size that you want. Okay, so we're going to go with that. Nice and thin in the middle, but you've got a nice crust. Now the next thing to do, it depends on whether you're going to cook this in a pizza oven or whether you're going to cook it in your oven at home. Because if you're going to cook it in your pizza oven, then you're going to use your peel and you're going to just get it off of the work surface with your peel and then into the pizza oven. But I'm going to show you what I do when I'm cooking them in my oven at home, and this makes it a bit easier, this next step. Get yourself a piece of tin foil and put a little bit of olive oil on the tin foil and then just spread that around like that, because we're going to put the pizza base on that like so. And then when you put it down, just kind of stretch it out into the shape you want it, and it will stay there then as well. And the thing is now, it's going to be so much easier to get it in and out of the oven. If you didn't do this, put all your toppings on, then you kind of try and get a spatula in underneath and get it into the oven. But doing it on the foil, you literally just pick it up and then plop it in the oven. And it is really important to get it in the oven as fast as you can, so that really helps. But yeah, I'm really happy with that shape. It's nice and thin, and it's got a nice crust going on it. So the next thing we're going to do is add toppings. And the thing is with toppings on pizza is don't go overboard with them. Try not to put too many toppings on because you just lose all of the flavours. So get some nice ingredients and just put them on sparingly. And of course the first thing you need to put on is your tomato sauce. Now how do you make this? Well, the best way is to really buy the best quality tin tomatoes you can possibly find and just literally blitz them up with a stick blender and make it into a nice puree. But that only works if you can find really good quality tomatoes, and quite often I just can't get hold of them, so all I do is take some tomato puree and then kind of loosen it with water, because the puree is too thick, but loosen it with water so it's the right consistency. And that's a really easy and quick way of getting a nice tomato base. But these ones are good quality tomatoes, and I've just blitzed them up and I'm going to put them onto the pizza base. Now, not too much tomato. You don't want this to just be the predominantly tasting of tomato. So we're just going to put it on and we're going to just work it around in circles on the pizza base like that. But you want to see bits of the pizza base. You don't want it completely covering because then it'll just taste too tomatoey. But it is very important not to go out to the edges of the pizza. You want to leave that crust nicely exposed so it can go beautifully. Right, the next thing that we're going to put on then is cheese. And I like to put on 2 different kinds of cheese, just the way I found works best. So I use some of the bald mozzarella, and also I use just some of the grated mozzarella you can buy in the supermarket as well. The bald mozzarella is really great. It kind of melts nicely and then is quite chewy. It's got quite a different consistency on the pizza to the grated mozzarella, because the grated mozzarella has got that stretchiness to it. So I kind of combine the two and get the best of both worlds out of them. Some of that stretchiness and some of this chewiness from the bald mozzarella as well. But again, don't overload it with cheese. You know, you just need enough, the right amount, so that all of the flavours come through. So toppings then, I mean, this is the beauty of pizza. You can use so many different things on top and you can get creative, but also you can use leftovers as well, because it's best not to put raw ingredients on your pizza. If you are going to put like raw onion or something like that, make it sliced really thinly, because this pizza is not going to be in the oven very long. So it's best if you can use pre-cooked ingredients. So I've got here some leftovers from what we've had over the weekend. So here I've got some minced beef that I made kebabs out of last night. I've just got a little bit of that mixture left over, which I fried off with some spices. And so that's just a really nice thing to put on top of your pizza. But again, I'm not putting very much. Now with the beef, I'm going to put a little bit of chopped rosemary, which has just come from the garden. And rosemary is such a great herb to use on a pizza because it's quite woody. It really survives the high heat of the oven very well. Now the other thing I've got is some leftover chicken from a roast chicken we had Friday night. So I'm just going to do this. I wouldn't normally do kind of 2 toppings on a pizza, but I'm just going to use some chicken on the other side of the pizza. Just a little bit. That's all you need. Of course, I love to put pepperoni on pizza. I love all of those traditional toppings. I hate putting pineapple on a pizza, but that's just my personal preference. And then with the chicken, what goes with chicken? Well, I've got sage here. And actually, sage and chicken, I love that combination on a pizza, because again, the sage is quite woody and it survives in the oven quite nicely. Now, all that's left to do is just get a bit of your extra virgin olive oil, and just sprinkle that over the top, and then that's ready to go into the oven. Okay, here it is out of the oven. So it's nice and easy to just whisk off of that tin foil now, and you can see it's nice and crunchy on the base. You know, it's really firm. It's not like it's come out of a pizza oven. You know, we haven't got these big bubbles and a lot of kind of darkness, but it's a really nice crunchy pizza base there. So all we've got to do then is just get it cut. And look at that, it's beautiful. Cheese is melted, it's kind of nice and gooey with a really nice crispy base. It's just a fantastic pizza made in your oven at home. So, you know, get on with it, get making some fine pizza.